done a whole day in just a morning. It's not even 11 o'clock, is it? You've got
So if you lost our passports?
No, I did not lose our passports. The lady lost our passports. So we have made it to Cambodia, just a bit of a stressful travel morning. If you haven't watched my last vlogs, we are currently traveling Vietnam, Cambodia, Bali in just 3 weeks, a week in each. We've just finished our first week in Vietnam. Our last stop was Ho Chi Minh City, and we flew from Ho Chi Minh City to Siem Reap this morning. Arrived at the airport a couple of hours before. I think we were there 2 hours, 10 minutes before. We had to get our suitcase wrapped. If you watched the previous vlog, you'll know our suitcase broke on the first flight, and we have 9 flights in total, so we keep having to get it wrapped because we haven't had a chance to get a new suitcase. Then it was like 2 hours, 5 minutes before the flight. We couldn't check in online. It was one of those ones that you have to check in at the counter. Went to get in the queue and it was massive. And at that point, it clocked in my brain that it wasn't an internal flight. It's actually an international flight, even though it's only an hour and 5 minutes. And my brain was like, we're only here 2 hours before. Should we have been here 3 hours before? This queue is massive. Fortunately, the queue did go down and we did get to the front. But when we got to the front, we realized you have to go through immigration. So they then check your passport at like a passport control before you go through security. And that queue was crazy. Like, the airport was just manic, so everyone for any flight was in the same queue to get through immigration, and it was the biggest queue I have ever seen. So we checked in. We were all stressed about how heavy our hand luggage is because we saw they were weighing hand luggage and it's max 7 kilos, and I think ours are way over that. I think one of ours might be over 10 kilos. So we were stuffing things in our pockets and all a bit stressed about that. Then the lady at the desk was like, you can pay us $20 each to skip that immigration line and we will take you to the front. And at this point, it was less than an hour before our flight. I think it might have been 40 minutes before our flight. That queue was big. Then there was a big security queue. Obviously, you get on the plane before the flight leaves. Like, you have to be boarding way before. So we were like, okay, we will pay $20 each. Gave her our $20, then realized she wasn't going to weigh our bags. I mean, that gave us a bit more leeway because we'd given her money. She didn't then just check all of our bags. So we're stuffing things back in our bags, like the laptop I had hidden. She said, go over there, someone will come and get you. But we didn't quite hear what she was saying. Obviously, we don't speak Vietnamese. That's our fault, so it is quite difficult to understand. So I kept being like, what do you mean go over there? This airport was crazy. There was hundreds of people. Over there meant nothing to me. Went over there, so to this big crowd of people, which was really stressful. Jack went to put the luggage trolley back. In that time, me and Jack got separated and both completely lost each other and couldn't get through to each other on the phone. And this airport was just hundreds of people. I could not find him. I was very stressed. Also, while stressed that I couldn't find Jack and couldn't get through to him, I was like, where are the passports? The passports aren't in my pockets. They're not in my bag. I'm the one who carries the passports. Where are the passports? I hope Jack's got the passports, but also where's Jack? Also stressed that we need to get to the front of this immigration line and I don't know where we're going to get in front, but we've just given $40 and we've got no ticket or anything. Then find Jack eventually after getting through on WhatsApp call, like, where are you? I'm lost. What are we doing? He comes. I'm like, have you got the passports? He says, no. And honestly, it was just stress. Went through every bag, every pocket, and we have these travel rucksacks that have a million pockets. I dropped myself in the middle of the airport, in the middle of the chaos. I was not even in the corner. Where are these passports? We have this flight. We have to get to Bali. We have to get back to London. We've lost the passport. Throwing everything out. Do you know what? I don't know how things haven't broken. I have looked, we haven't broken anything, we haven't lost anything. I was thinking, why has no one stolen anything? Because I was throwing it all over the airport floor, but to be honest, I don't think people are gonna steal things in an airport. Passports nowhere. So much stress, we were so hot, the airport was hot. Long story short, Jack eventually spoke to everyone, was asking everyone, are there passports anywhere? Have you seen any passports? Went to the check-in place. It wasn't behind the check-in desk, but where were they? They were in a pile with some other passports for us to skip the immigration queue. The lady never said she was taking our passports, and in the whole kerfuffle, we didn't take the passports back and didn't realise that was happening, but basically they were keeping our passports from us to know that we had paid to skip immigration. So we had spent 20 minutes in absolute stress thinking, I'm never gonna get back to London to my family, I'm stuck in Vietnam, we're not gonna get to do the 2 other weeks of this trip. And they had the passports the whole time. But it was just a whole big mess. Everyone was confused. We were so sweaty and stressed by this point. I don't think I've ever reached that level of stress in my life. It was stress tears. I felt like I was in complete panic mode. Basically what happened is they passed the passports on to someone else, then the people found us based on our passport pictures and they would take us to the front of the queue. No one told us this, so we thought we had lost our passports, but they had them the whole time. I think it was the whole stress of us with our hand luggage trying to stuff stuff back in. I don't know, but we were blaming each other before we realised that the passports were behind there. We were like, you've lost the passports. Do you know what? Biggest relationship test is losing your passport. So we did eventually get to the front of the immigration queue. It was tight, so we went through this passport control immigration queue, then went through security, another big queue, got to the gate just as it was boarding with literally bags stuffed with things all over the place. I was so stressed that we had lost things, but it doesn't look like we have. Then the flight was delayed about an hour, so we are late to Siem Reap, which is not ideal because we are only here today. It's a very quick stop in Siem Reap and we want to go and see Angkor Wat, and if you know anything about that, people come here for 3 days to see it, and we just have this afternoon, so I need to hurry up updating you on this because we need to grab lunch and then go. But yeah, flight an hour delayed. Got through the other side. Our visas were fine. You have to get visas from the UK to go to Cambodia, same with Bali, but we didn't for Vietnam. If you're going to Vietnam for under 45 days, you didn't have to do that. All good because I sorted the visas back when we were in the UK, so we got through fine. We were just a bit later than we planned. The car picking us up for the airport was still there, which was great. Our hotel in Siem Reap just for tonight is Grand Yard La Residence. It's about 50 minutes from the airport. We have literally just got into the room, which is great, so the room has been ready early. The hotel looks phenomenal. This is such a lovely hotel. It's kind of sad we're only here for the one night, so we can't use all the facilities, and I don't think we're going to get to go in the pool, but it does look lovely, and this is the biggest room we've been in so far. This is our 4th hotel out of 9, I think, and it is massive. It's like double the size of our first room. So gonna do a quick room tour now, then we're gonna head for lunch at the hotel because we don't have loads of time to go exploring and get lunch, and we really want to get to Angkor Wat and see as much as possible, just the highlights really, because we're just here this afternoon. The ultimate test of if you can see Angkor Wat in just an afternoon really. So look at the size of this room. It is absolutely massive. We have so much space. As you come in through the door on the left, we have a separate toilet, and then if I switch back round, I'll get Jack to move out the way. We've got the bathroom, which looks so lovely. I love the design of everything in here. And then if you go around here, we've got massive shower. To be honest, I haven't really looked around this, so this is my first time looking too, but I love the tiles. And I love the little cubby in the wall. That's so cool. We want that in our new house. Come back round. We've got sofa where Jack has been sitting, little table. We've got a lovely massive bed, bedside tables and lights each side. Then over here, we've just got desk area, mini fridge, and then clothes space over here. Got a safe there, need to sort that out now. And I have just dumped all our luggage. We have been given robes and flip-flops down there, and that is the suit that we have been carrying everywhere since Hoi An. It is so annoying. We've got this little balcony area, which I haven't gone out onto yet, but here it is from the inside. We've just got a little seating area out there. We've got lovely weather. It is really hot in Siem Reap. Extending over 400 square kilometres, Angkor is a World Heritage Site and one of the most important archaeological sites of Southeast Asia. It exemplifies cultural, religious and symbolic values, as well as containing high architectural, archaeological and artistic significance. The Angkor Pass is required for all visitors to the Angkor Archaeological Park, except for Cambodian citizens. We booked passes online through the Angkor Enterprise website, and these cost $37 each. There is also the option to buy 3 or 7-day passes. We've made it into Angkor Wat. I genuinely don't think we've ever been this hot ever. My phone has majorly overheated, so I can't use my phone. Sweating so much that I have sweat marks around my bum. Bit of advice, book the tickets online. I did this before we left the UK. Our Grab driver, so we got a Grab from the hotel to here, said, do you have tickets? And he was really grateful that we did, because he said that the queue would have been chaos. I have managed to get in with this t-shirt, which only just covers my shoulders. I did bring another cover up just in case. Jack's also got in shorts. We googled it. It said that men can get in shorts and a t-shirt and don't need to wear trousers unless they're climbing something. I don't know what part that is, but no one has called us out for Jack wearing shorts and me just wearing this top. So that's great, because I don't know how I'd get on putting another layer on, to be honest. There are also loads of other men wearing shorts as well, and women in similar t-shirts to me, so it seems okay so far. I didn't just say the fact that I'm wearing trousers, so women have to cover their shoulders and their knees. It's like all the other temples we've been to, like the ones in Thailand. I'm wearing cargo trousers and having big regrets. I wish I had a flowy skirt or something. It is mid-30s, but it is so humid. The Hindu-Buddhist temple complex Angkor Wat is the heart and soul of Cambodia, being the largest religious building in the world. When it was built, it served as the capital of the Khmer Empire, which ruled the region at the time. The word Angkor means capital city in the Khmer language, while the word Wat means temple. Unlike the other Angkor monuments, it was never abandoned to the elements and has been in virtually continuous use since it was built. Its perfection in composition, balance, proportions and sculpture make it one of the finest monuments in the world. Update, we opted for no tour guide, but there's no real maps or directions, so we keep kind of going around in circles and can't find our way to the exit. So if you really want to know where you're going, I probably advise get a tour guide. We overheated so much that we just paid someone $1 to sit in their little restaurant thing because we're so hot we were about to collapse. Because we were at the airport this morning rushing, we didn't get to eat or drink anything. We only had one drink when we had lunch just before coming here, so we're both already dehydrated, but it is so hot and so humid, and it is just bright sunshine, so we are not coping very well, and we needed to stop. We managed to get a giant bottle of water for $1, which I think is quite good, and a Coke for $1. But we're trying to regather ourselves before we carry on, because otherwise we're going to collapse. We're going to have a 2018 Egypt redo. If anyone knows that story of how I nearly died in the desert, it feels like that. Good news, my phone is back on. Look, it's baby Tilly. But my phone has stopped overheating, but as soon as we get out in the sun, it goes so hot. And it's the iPhone 15 Pro Max, so it's the brand new one, and all I'm having is issues with it. It is the worst purchase I have ever made. It's just a nightmare. And also, anyone who's got this will know that all the plugs are different, so all the portable chargers didn't work when I first got it, so I had to get new leads for everything, a new lead for my car. On top of that, the pictures aren't that great, and it's overheating every single day. Jack's, I think he's got the 12 Pro Max, is fine, so don't know what's happening, but hopefully I can get some pictures on this. We are sitting in front of the fans right now, so we literally just paid $1 to sit here. We have been very unprepared for this heat. Okay, we have recovered a little bit. We have got another water. We are walking back through the first building, and we're going to go back down and see if we can get to the next one without completely collapsing. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, was this scaffolding worth the walk in the sunshine? I'm not sure. We have been looking for these trike things the whole time and not seen anyone. This is what we wanted to get. Before we came here, we were like, right, as soon as we get to the gate, we're gonna get a trike. We'll pay someone to take us around. We knew it was gonna be big. We knew it was gonna be hot. Not quite as hot as it is, but we were gonna get a trike, and we've only just, they're the first ones we've seen. Where are they? Where do we buy a trike? That would be so much better. Oh my God, I can see the trikes. This whole time the trikes were over there. Is that, can you see them?
Yeah.
2 hours later, 2 hours and 2 near-death experiences through heat stroke later, we have found the trikes that could have taken us around the whole thing. I think what we're learning from this trip is the days that I plan minute by minute and know exactly what we're doing go amazingly. They're the best days. And the days I have less of a plan but just kind of an idea of where we're heading, those ones not so great. So my over planning is the best way forward. The idea was we have 3 weeks away. I'll plan the days where we need to see a lot of things, I'll book tours, but the other days where we can just turn up places, we'll just play it by ear, we'll be a bit more spontaneous, not have a strict schedule, so it's a bit more relaxed. And when that happens, either things are closed, we get lost, or we can't find the trikes. Okay, so it's much later on now. We actually came back from Angkor Wat and sat by the pool for a little while, and then we went out for dinner on Pub Street. I couldn't recommend more. I just was not expecting it to be like that. There were so many pubs and bars and restaurants, which actually kind of makes sense because it's called Pub Street, but they were so modern and there was so much going on. We had an amazing dinner in a restaurant called Temple on Pub Street, which we found on TripAdvisor. It had really good reviews and it lived up to the hype. It was so good. Also, the menus were on iPads, which we don't even get in the UK, so I was so impressed. If you're in Siem Reap, that is definitely the place to go. We also had a little explore around the night markets, got ourselves a magnet, and now we are back in the room. Basically, we've had a little bit of a debrief following visiting Angkor Wat earlier today. We do think we didn't make the most of the time as much as we could have. We were really struggling in the heat. I don't think we set ourselves up for the day as well as we could have because we had such a chaotic morning. So we didn't have breakfast, we hadn't been drinking properly because you can't take water through security, so we didn't have anything on us. Then we ran onto our plane. So we arrived at Angkor Wat dehydrated, and then the afternoon sun just hit us and we both weren't feeling great. We did do some research about Angkor Wat before going, about how to get around and that you can get tuk-tuks. However, because we were arriving today, we didn't book anything because, you know, flights can go wrong. As we found out, we were an hour delayed. We didn't want to have to rush to get on a tour or have to lose our money if we couldn't make it, but we did assume when we walked through the entrance we would be able to just get a tuk-tuk and get someone to take us around. That wasn't the case, and I don't know if that was just the time of day we were there. I think we got there around 1:30, and maybe there would have been more in the morning. It might have been the entrance we got in, but I'm pretty sure we were at the main entrance. But I have had a Google, and you can book the tuk-tuks for the day, so you can book a tour through Viator, through your hotel, through other providers. So if you plan on seeing it and seeing as much as possible, I think that is the way to do it. You can also hire bikes, but that would be way too hot. I also think you can just get a car to take you. There are lots of different options and we didn't go with any of them. We thought we'd play it by ear and kind of just take ourselves around, but that proved more difficult than we thought. There were people as we walked in offering tour guides. I'm gonna be a bit honest, mine and Jack's attention span isn't very long, so us being with a tour guide would have not been the best option because we would have been with them the whole time and we zone in and out. It's best for us to walk around at our own pace and absorb information at our own pace, if that makes sense. But anyway, since coming back, we have made the executive decision that we are going to go back tomorrow morning, which was not the plan. The plan was we were going to be picked up at 7:30 tomorrow morning to drive to Phnom Penh. So as I said earlier, we're only in Siem Reap for a day, we're only in Phnom Penh for a day, and then we're also going to Koh Rong for 3 days. So very fast paced, but fortunately I have been able to reach out to the guy picking us up tomorrow and delay our pickup time to 9:30. And through TripAdvisor, Jack has been able to find a guy that does tuk-tuks around Angkor Wat and can personalize the tour. So we have booked that. They are picking us up at 6 AM, so another very early start. And we really just want to go back to see a few more of the surrounding temples around Angkor Wat because we really only just got to the main bit and went around there. So we have chosen 3 temples or 3 places that we'd like to see because they are quite far apart. I think there's over 70 temples, so obviously you can't see them all, but we just want to see a few more and feel like we've experienced a little bit more of it than we did today. We obviously saw the main temple, which was so impressive and so cool to see in person, but we do want to go and see the temple that's in Temple Run, which is called Tar Prom, and then Bayon Temple, and also the Elephant Terrace. So the guy has arranged for us to do that in the morning, and then we get back here for 9:30, grab our bags and get in our long car ride to Phnom Penh a bit later than planned. The journey is meant to take between 5 and 6 hours from Siem Reap to Phnom Penh in the car, but there weren't any flights that matched up with our schedule. I can't remember why. I think maybe they were in the middle of the day and we would have lost most of the day, or there weren't any available on the day. But either way, the car was the best option. But I also said to Jack, it actually turns out about the same amount of time as if you went to the airport, because you leave for the airport 3 hours before the flight to get there 2 hours before, then you get on the flight, it's an hour, and then you drive to your hotel afterwards. So it kind of works out the same and a lot less stressful, because our last airport experience this morning was chaos. So I would rather sit in a car and be a lot more calm. And when we get to Phnom Penh, we are planning on going to see a temple there. So very action-packed day tomorrow. We have planned it so we should still get there before that temple closes. So we will still have a bit of time in Phnom Penh, but we wanted to make sure we really made the most of our time at Angkor Wat. It does mean that we have had to pay for the tuk-tuk in the morning and buy new entrance tickets, because when I booked our tickets, I only booked the 1-day pass. But it's fine, it's all part of the experience. We're pleased we're going to be able to go back. So all of that will be in the next vlog before we head to Koh Rong Island.